on my way to work. Saying goodbye to my mother before leaving for work this morning was more difficult than it's been in the past. We both know what's coming. It made me want to cry. And I think I felt it within her too. But the sun is shining, and that feels nice. Hi. Good night. Good evening. I hope you're doing very well. I want to talk because I'm worried. Here's what happens at my work. Somebody in a suit talks to somebody that wants to buy furniture. And that's what's going on. So I am worried that I'm crazy, that I'm making a huge mistake. I'm worried I'm making a huge mistake. I talked to a family from Bangladesh today. They walked in the showroom. And I talked with them today. And they shared with me massive perspective. Basically, they were my definition of incredibly wealthy when they were in Bangladesh. Their house was massive. Their bathroom was the size of, people's living rooms here. They had staff for their laundry. They had staff to drive them around. They had staff to shop with them. I mean, they were absolutely, by all means, incredibly wealthy living in Bangladesh. So why did they leave? The gentleman that I spoke with told me that they left Bangladesh because of the government. Because of the government. Not because it was unsafe, but because of the government. And I didn't exactly get down to the root meaning of it, but the vibe that I got was that it wasn't particularly pressing. And as the conversation carried on, it was more about leaving this because there's potential, for something different, for leaving for the United States, for USA, for America, he said. For America. And it's the same thing that I was thinking about this morning while I was getting ready for work, and I wanted to share it with you, but I just didn't know quite the right way to share it with you, and we'll get over that roadblock as time goes on. We're not grateful for what we have, and we always want something different, and the grass is always greener on the other side. And what I have here, living in Buffalo, New York, is I have a job that pays me very well. I'm working towards a future in which I will create, I will have a certain amount of wealth. I will have security. I'll have safety. I'll have the opportunity to experience luxurious things, or I'll have freedom. I'll have money to be able to travel, to be able to purchase things that I want, to be able to I like cars, to be able to drive a nice car, and to be able to have nice things to cook with, and quality ingredients, and good diet, and these things that are important to me, I'll be able to have with the path that I'm on right now. So I asked him if he regrets it. You left a life of luxury, and now you're here in the U.S. So basically, he left a life where things were made. Like they wouldn't necessarily be working. If anything, they'd just be collecting money from the family business. There's no mortgage, there's no car mortgage, there's no house taxes. But now that he lives in America, now that he lives here in New York, he has to work. He pays for the car. He pays for either the house or the apartment, and he works. He has to work for somebody, and he talks about the taxes that he has to pay, and it's just perspective. It's just perspective. It's like, I want to give up my life of luxury to be a foreigner. To be a foreigner in a different place where I'll have to work a job that there's a possibility I have to work a job that doesn't pay me what I'm getting paid. Or it's the first time in my life where there's mass uncertainty. I've spent my life, carefully making decisions, working towards the future, safe and secure. I save a lot of money, and my idea has always been, to purchase assets that produce income, and to just, be taken care of for the rest of my life. But for the first time in my life, I'm gonna be moving to a time where I'm not making money. I'm going from making $80,000 a year to signing up for making $0 a year starting off. If this is my path, if this is what I'm meant to do, then I'm confident that I'll eventually have some amount of income. I'm confident that I'll eventually make money from doing this, from talking with you, from sharing things with you, from sharing my experiences and the things that I enjoy and the things that I've learned. That's my goal. That's my goal, is to share my path with you, is to share the things that are important to me with you. And if I trust in the universe, and if it's meant to be, then I will get paid to do that. I will be able to live my life doing what I love, right? That's truth, right? If we do what we love, then we can live our life. I'm having a crisis. I'm having a crisis. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm having a crisis. I'm sacrificing a lot of things that I've worked towards for a lot of uncertainty. And that was incredibly exciting to start with. And it's developed into being incredibly scary, incredibly nervous, incredibly uncertain. Anyways, there's my other coworker. These people are dear to me. I've worked for this company. Let's see if we can drive and talk at the same time. Let's see how this works. I've worked for this company for almost 4 years. And during that time, I've met awesome people. And this job is about the people. That's what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, all sales is people. At the end of the day, all of the entire world is people. And this job has taught me an immense amount about myself, about other people. And along the way, I've met incredible people that have believed in me, that have helped me, that have taught me, that have guided me, that have appreciated me, that have loved me. I've met a ton of people that have rejected me. And, not appreciated me. And, there's plenty of people that are not enjoyable to work with or to talk with. But that's life, right? There's ups and downs, there's good and bad. But overall, I have been exceedingly grateful for this job because it has helped me to grow an immense amount, and I've been able to make good money while I'm doing it. So it's crazy to leave this job. But I have admitted it to the universe in the things that I affirm, in my affirmations, in my prayers to the universe. I have said multiple times, I am willing to sacrifice everything. I'm willing to give up everything. All these things that I love, all these people that I love, all the objects in my life, all of these things that my ego holds on to. I am willing to sacrifice everything in order to have a chance to be great. And when I say that, what that means to me is to follow my path. So, without a doubt, excuse me. Without a doubt, there are plenty of you guys, without a doubt, you understand how insane what I'm doing is. Like, logically, it doesn't make any sense. Logically, it doesn't make any sense what I'm doing, because I'm laying out the reasons why this is crazy. And I'm right there with you. This doesn't make sense, and I am crazy. But if this is what it takes, I'm willing to do it. If this is what it takes, I'm willing to do it. Plus, there's people like my dear coworker, Susan, who tell me crazy stories about when they were younger and the cool things that they did. And it's not a fear of missing out, but it's the you're young, you gotta do this stuff when you're young. It's that kind of thing that makes it so that makes me so comfortable accepting an invitation to road trip across the country, to just drive across the country, across the entire United States, to drive from New York in the east to California in the west. That is a huge endeavor. Even people that live here don't do that. And I don't know how much of the US you guys are familiar with, but that's a massive endeavor. And it smells good, guys. And so there's a massive amount of uncertainty baked into the trip itself. And then to move, this is my first time leaving home, by the way. I've always lived with my parents. To move from a home where things are relatively taken care of all the way across the country to Los Angeles, where it's expensive, is crazy to me. But It's fucking cold here. I don't know if you can see the mountain of snow behind me. It's cold here. So I'm looking forward to the sunshine and just being able to relax. Here is where I am today. Watson's chocolate and ice cream. It is Valentine's Day. Let's see what we can get for some loved ones. Okay, I just had the most incredible experience at Watson's Chocolates. I had the opportunity to talk with a client that I worked with in the past. Julie was working on finishing building her home, and was dealing with plenty of ups and downs as this process, as you know, what's to be expected. But it was just the most delightful I walked up to the counter and I put this chocolate down, and I noticed her watch strap had this beautiful blue floral pattern on it, and I told her, I like your watch strap, and she was like, thank you. And then she was like, I know you. And I was like, oh, I'm here in the South Towns. This is half an hour from my home. So I was like, well, I work for. It's like I work for Raymore and Flanagan. Did you work with me at Raymore Flanagan? She was like, yeah. She was like, my name is Julie, and then fill in the blank. And I was like, Julie, how's the home? How's your home? And she was like, I love it. I love it. And she loves her furniture, that's my job. So she loves her new home. She loves her furniture, and she looks good. She looks like she's happy. Woohoo! Yeah. So that was very pleasant to see Julie. And it made me happy talking with her. And you know what? She had good things to say about me. And about my patience, because her process was long and she had to go back and forth. And I mean, don't get me wrong. It did require patience working with her. But I understood the process that she was going through, so, understanding is so important, isn't it? Understanding is really important in my opinion. Anyways, that made me happy to see her, to know that things are going well in her world, to know that she loves her home, that she spent a lot of time and energy and money on, and she likes her furniture. That makes me happy. That makes me feel good. So, thank you, Julie. Thank you for working with me. Thank you for your business. Thank you for talking with me. Thank you for having nice things to say. And thank you for selling me chocolate. It is Valentine's Day. And